gonna share my screen. I hope this is working. Okay, so this is like a meetingception. So I'm using my Zoom here, and then I'm in Google Meet. I'm not sure if you're seeing my screen. You're seeing my screen, right? The one I shared. Because I didn't want that my because it's gonna be more talking than my actual slides, but the slides are nice to look at. So I prepared this. So hi, I'm Josan. I'm a user interface, user experience engineer, and an ambassador of Google's program, Women Techmakers. I'm currently the head of design at the crypto finance startup and finishing my master's degree in entrepreneurship at the Asian Institute of Management. And as Della said, my personal advocacy is teaching young girls to code and encouraging women to pursue courses and careers in science, technology, and engineering. So let me begin with a little story time. So when I was about to enter college, I didn't really know which course to take and just told our guidance counselor that I'll just choose whatever course that I think my grades would match best. So I ended up spending an entire semester taking up accountancy. So when I was about to enroll for the second semester, I told my mom that I don't think that I don't belong there. She then told me that I won't be able to graduate on time and I had to start all over again. If that's the case, she won't pay for my tuition and if I continuously shift courses through the years. So I felt threatened not to be able to finish college. So I started thinking about getting a part-time job that I can do. So when one of my friends was looking for a graphics and layout artist, I took the job even though I wasn't really as confident. I mean, I can learn it, and it would definitely help me at least pay for my tuition down payment. And so I confidently told my mom that I have already enrolled in computer science. I became more and more curious about design, trying out web design, then motion graphics animation. I really felt that I just did those because I needed money and not because I really love doing it. Eventually, I ended up doing front end development and user interface design after graduation. And then after a few years working, I realized that there was more to design than how things look like. I was designing websites and applications, concentrating on how good it looks on the screen for me, but not actually thinking of the user. So I started to dig more and started learning about user experience. And then finally, this was truly where I wanted to be, designing with a purpose. So I've always been a builder. I like creating things. Probably why I entered the startup world. I wasn't a breadwinner and I had only myself to look out for. So I was able to take higher risks. Also, being a freelancer equipped me with the confidence that I needed to succeed. So after a year of working at the first company that I worked for in Manila, I resigned and together with my friends built our company developing products that can eventually become a tech startup. So 2012 booking engine, we hired by Rocketmiles, then been acquired by booking.com, then recently merged with Agoda. So that's in 2019. But same year, I took a break from the tech world, enrolled myself in my master's degree right now in entrepreneurship. So fast forward to today, I'm almost done with school. And as I was looking for the next big thing, an opportunity came. A startup has just pivoted, and the founder who is rebuilding their team approached me to be part of their crypto finance startup to lead the design and build the design team. Hiring to UI UX. So let me know if you're interested. Sorry for the plug. So today I found myself in crypto space, which I now believe is the next big thing. Well, seeing that 20 days ago, Bitcoin was valued at 2 million pesos, and now today it's already at 3 million. Kind of validated that statement, right? So, anyway, that's a short version of my journey. I think what's really important are the accidental product management learnings throughout my 9 years and counting in the startup world. Steve Jobs famously said most people make the mistake of thinking design is what it looks like. People think it's this veneer that designers are handled this box and told, make it look good. That's not what we think design is. It's not just what it looks like and feels like. Design is how it works. So I did a lot of design and I did a lot of MVPs. I became an accidental product manager. So, accidental project manager, developer, tech lead support, all those. So, I've become that accidental product manager. So, what is the role of a product manager? So, unlike career tracks like computer science, design, marketing, unless it's a workshop, an elective, or a certification, there's really no formal education path for a product manager, right? There's even no specific list of all the things that a product manager should do. So, the tech industry has changed so much. Software engineers used to spend a lot of energy thinking about how to get computers to work. Also, there weren't a lot of frameworks to use yet. Sure, there were some APIs you could use to print things on the screen and create buttons, but the tools to build software were less mature at that time. Like what? 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So, a lot of time, energy, effort, sweat, and tears were needed just to get things working. Like just to get things working. So up running and working. So but over the past years, it has gotten easy to build software, especially for web-based and even mobile now, like with Android Studio and all those stuff that we could use. So software engineers no longer have to worry about how to get a button to render or how to get a piece of code to run consistently across all different browsers. They can now think about the higher order of things, which is what are we actually trying to solve here? Because as software engineers, we're supposed to be problem solvers. So that's for software engineers. But similarly, designers are used to spend a lot of time trying to get things to render beautifully. So back in the day, in my age, it was drawing things in Adobe Photoshop and then cutting things to precise pixel points and trying to piece them together again in an HTML. Like cutting like um uso before or it's famous before like okay, I've got the design already in Photoshop, so all the buttons, all the images are all cut ready for the front end engineers to work on this. So it's like cutting a lot of images and patching it up together to build an entire user interface for the front end developers. Then came a more mature CSS that can render your images in code in perfect pixels. So animations were also in GIFs or MP4s, but re- recently I now render my animations from Adobe After Effects to JSON. So I just need to send the JSON file to the front-end developers and voila, a more optimized and blazing fast loading speed website. So I was it's super crazy now that I'm rendering. So I've been rendering After Effects animation in MP4, in MOV, in GIF, but I've never really imagined rendering my animation in After Effects in JSON. And I can just send the JSON file to our developers for a blazing fast website. So, but most importantly, the designers can now think about about the humans who are going to interact with the application of softwares. They can now think about the problem that humans are trying to solve with this application or software and not focus too much on what? Pixel perfecting the design because some tools are already handling those stuff. So I believe that the role of product management is to understand the human problems being solved And the most important thing that product managers can do is prioritize which problems to solve and then let the engineers and designers figure out what the solution will be. But a lot of times, product managers try to be responsible for more than that. They try to get involved in the actual product design. They argue with the engineering team about how something should be architected or how the job should be done. But if there's one thing that caused a shift in the product manager role was Eric Rice, the lean startup. He defined product management as how companies should use data to learn whether they should pivot, persevere, or perish. Here, perish. So it helped define a path that a product team should take to make decisions. It changed from a lot of trial and error to an actual science. So, so from this, right, I see the product management role shifting from a loosely defined jack of all trades to someone who is looking at the things that need to be done. Someone who sets priorities, collaborates with the engineering and design to figure out the sequence of solutions to be launched, and then measure results. They should look at data, both qualitative and quantitative, and use it to bring the recommended priorities to the business, management, engineering, and design teams. So, so what background should a product manager have? I think that as long as they understand the technology, they can fulfill the shoes of a product manager. So when the engineering and design team says they're making a certain implementation decision, the product manager can understand the implications of that decision. It also helps with conversation around trade-offs. There is nothing more frustrating for an engineer than debating a decision with someone who knows nothing about why that decision was made, right? So I also like the idea of product managers being former product builders, like that this list, this list. So I think that many can do it, but it's really difficult to find someone completely well rounded. Someone who can do software engineering, understand the business goals, and identify the things to be done. There is wisdom and intuition that comes from focusing on the decisions that need to be made. So, here. So, product managers drive the vision, strategy, design, and execution of their product. These are the four dimensions of product management. So, let's talk about vision. So, vision, a compelling vision articulates how the world will be a better place if you succeed. So, this is the highest in the higher order of things. Knowing your vision and what is the problem that we are trying to solve. And the vision is only valuable if it also inspires the team. So, because products are not built by one person only. So, if you've seen pitch decks from startup founders, there's always a team section because you would want to show the investors that your team is capable of building a good product. That's the entire purpose of that team deck. So for vision, uh, so a compelling vision articulates how the world will be a better place if you succeed. Wait, okay. Vision, strategy, sorry. Okay, so for strategy, a compelling strategy details exactly how you'll dominate your market. So a vision should be stable, but your strategy needs to be iterated and refined until you find the product or market fit. So what's that? How do you find your product or market fit? So I'll just run through these items. Target audience, problem, value proposition, strategic differentiation, competition, acquisition strategy, monetization, and KPIs. So I'll just run through these. Um, uh, First, target audience. Target audience. These are your best potential customers, the people that you are sure that needs. and will use your product. And then there are two types of problems. If the problem you are solving for your customers is one, a vitamin or a painkiller. So, which one are you? What is your solution? So, your solution, it's either a vitamin, something that helps them, or it's totally killing their pain points, a painkiller. Two types of solutions to a problem. So, and the value proposition is the promise. This is not a list of features. This is a list of your promises to your customers and the value that you're going to give them. And then we've got strategic differentiation, which is what makes you better than what is already out there or the current alternatives to your product. So then we go for I think this is okay. So, which leads me to the next item, which is competition. If there are two types of problems, there are three types of products. Are you a complementary product, an alternative, or a substitute? There, substitute. So, how will your solution win against direct competitors and indirect alternatives? So, it's either you're a complementary, meaning if there's a solution out there, um, add you. Um, for example, you're using two. Um, I use both iOS and Android. So what complements me is that I can use the notes in my iOS and notes in Google. So for me, they're more of a complementary product than actually being an alternative because I use both operating systems. It's an alternative if if instead when, for example, if I switched entirely to from Windows or to Mac, the entire alternative is Mac. And if it's a substitute, like if you're, for example, if you're diabetic, your only substitute is stevia, which is I think it's like no sugar or no sugar at all. So three types of products: complementary, alternative, and substitute. And you have to think, what kind of product are you trying to put it out there? So and then there's acquisition strategy. How will you find and attract your potential customers, and how will you make it cost effective? Monetization: what are your primary and secondary ways to make money? Will your customers be willing to pay? Because that's so important, that if no one is willing to pay for your product, why are you building it? If you're, unless it's just a passion project. KPI is so important because these are the right metrics to know if you're headed to the direction. So, well, having said all that, the last item that I want to share is that the we innovate. um we can't innovate for everything. That will require a lot of time, and time is of the essence when it comes to innovation and solution. So innovate on a few, then use best practices for the rest. That's the shortcut. So for all those I've said, target audience, we can innovate in we can innovate in some, but for the rest of those, we can do just choose best practices because we can't really innovate, or it will take time and a lot of effort. So going back design, a compelling design delivers a useful, usable, and delightful experience to your customers. So, delivering a useful and usable product has proven techniques, but how do we actually build truly delightful experiences? So, one word: empathy. So, bringing emotional intelligence to your product design. So, fall in love with the problem you are trying to solve for your target market, but never with the solution, because the solution can always change. And start by knowing your customers and developing personas, different kinds of personas. Remember that we can deliver the light by adding the desired emotion dimensions to our product design process, like the first iPhone user experience. Then we've got execution. So relentless execution ultimately determines whether you make your vision a reality. So execution isn't just project management. So but doing whatever it takes to win while ensuring you're pointing the team in the right directions. So there's this execution loop: design, validate, iterate. So design, do your product design, validate it, talk to people, surveys, do all those, and then iterate the things that you learn from validation. So those are the dimensions of product management. So I'm going to share what I've learned so far, because I think that's important for this year. So I personally, I don't like making decisions, but because it's hard. So what really helped me make decisions was back my decisions with data and make myself accountable and accept that I can fail, but I can learn as well. So always make a decision instead of perfecting the solution for yesterday's problem. Build it fast enough to solve today's challenges. Because what are we gonna do with the problems of yesterday? You're trying to perfect it. So, having shared about all these, second lesson is you don't need to do everything. You have to build your perfect team to do it with you. But at the same time, everything is your responsibility. So, you don't need to do everything, but everything is your responsibility. You are accountable for everything. Uh, Listen to your customers. So we have to understand our customers' problems by listening to them. So if we don't listen to our customers, we end up building solutions to problems that they don't have. So let me introduce you to Smalt here. I'll be gone. So Smalt is the world's first interactive centerpiece and a smart salt dispenser. So what does it do? So at the top it has lights, so that's probably for the mood light. Yeah, okay, I like that. There's a super speaker that dots there for the speaker. Okay, I like that. And the third most important thing, it's a salt dispenser. So imagine getting your phone or saying, "Okay, Google, please dispense salt." So now, if you don't have internet, sorry, so you can't really. Sorry, so my Google just talked to me. Okay, Google, stop. So imagine that you need Google to put salt on your food. So it's not my problem. I don't know why people keep building solutions to problems that I don't have. So now it's harder for you to put salt in your food if you need it, because they have an app also. It's a real product. Search for it, Smalt. Smalt is real. So imagine that you need your phone to dispense salt. And why are you gonna do that, right? So listen to your customers. But at the same time, don't listen to your customers, because for solutions, because they are the least qualified people to build solutions. So while we should listen to customers about their problems, we shouldn't listen to them about the solutions, because that's our job. Um, we should be the ones who are building solutions for them, because sometimes they tell you, okay, I want this feature, but then it actually just complicates things for them. So they'll just ask for you, they'll just complain and ask for you to do this, and but truly really listen to their problems, but you should be the one solving their problem. And then watch the competition. So what our competition is doing is a rich source of information that can help us better understand our customers' problem. So every time a competitor ships a new product or feature, it's a free user test for us to understand what the cost how the customers respond. So we should be testing it out, and if it works, maybe we could also implement that, and it's useful. So but don't watch the competition also. So stop worrying too much about what the competition is doing. Because in our industry, in the tech industry, we can get uh overly excited by new technologies or features. And it is too easy for us to simply follow the competition into building something new, something something nice, even though it might not be the best solution to a customer problem. So be a thief. Don't actually steal anything, but if it works, we can maybe it's we could take those ideas and build on them. So our job is not to come up with all the best ideas, but to make sure that we're implementing the best ones for our customers. So get paid. We need to make money out of it. So most of us work on commercial endeavors, and when we're taking new features and products to the market, we often forget to ask the most fundamental question: is this valuable enough for the customers to pay for it? So we need to get paid. But at the same time, stop worrying about getting paid, because we are business casing the soul out of our products. Focusing on getting paid can lead to a risk averse culture of small incremental improvements that don't focus on our customer experience. So I'll give you an example. I look actually I don't know if I put it in here, but I'll show a screenshot of a sample product that they wanted to get paid. But so if you look at this, so this is Evernote, free, personal, and professional. The thing is 60 MB. What am I gonna do with 60 MB? Okay, that's free. Personal, I have to pay 130 pesos for 10 gig. That's like a total big jump from 60 MB to 10 gig. And the thing, the most important thing is that for you have to pay 130 pesos per month for this one. Get offline access. It's a note taking software. I need it even if I don't have online connectivity, but I have to pay for me to access it online. So what's the use, right? So sometimes there are features or stuff that needs to be for free rather than it shouldn't be like just an added value. It should be the value for me to use your product, right? So that's an example. Then I've shared with you that make decisions, because we gotta speed things up. Every time we put off a decision, we're trying to we're actually destroying value, because there is cost of delay. So cost of delay is an incredibly important concept. There are so many reasons why we put off decisions, but and put it in our backlogs, but it's our job to remove obstacles and make sure that decisions are made, and made fast. With the rapid change in technologies, and how things are right now, we have to run after technology. Um, then say no. We have a lot of competing priorities. But our job is not to make people happy, it's to solve our customers' problem. So if sales come to you and ask for a feature for just one customer, you should say no for just one customer. If the CEO comes to you with a crazy idea from whoever, you should say no. Because don't be a visionary. Products don't need visionaries, they need product managers who are obsessed with solving customer problems and who put in the hard work to grind it out and solve those problems. So, for example, Elon Musk is a visionary, but we're not yet Elon Musk. So we have to grind it out and solve our problems. Um, don't confuse yourself with your customer. So this is always has been a problem with me. I always confuse myself that I'm the customer that I'm trying to solve with, but we have to actually uh, talk to them because we are solving the problem for them, and we're not. It's far too easy to look at our products from our own perspective, but we're probably wrong. Only by striving to really understand your customers will you be able to solve their problem. So going back always with them, and I think the last is be dumb. When you're starting out, you're unencumbered by experience and knowledge. So, and that's not always a bad thing. If you don't know things, companies and product teams drift away from their core mission over time, and the best product managers have the ability to be dumb, to look at things from a customer's perspective. There's always this saying that um, we have to build products that are mistake proof because our customers are stupid. So we have to be also stupid so that in a not bad connotation, right? We have to not know how to use the product, but intuitively we just we just uh we just know, right? So and to bring the focus back on the core customer problem. So that's the last lesson. And if you're looking for books, these are the books that I've read. There's Inspired by Marty Kagan, then Sprint, Jake Knapp. Um, I love books by Daniel Pink. Um, I he's a more marketing behaviorist. That's Daniel Pink. He has more books, and then of course, Lean Startup by Eric Rice. So if you're looking out for books, these are the books that would help you. There are also different playbooks, tools. I think Sprint alone is a one big book of tool that you could use. And then thank you. So I hope I was able to impart something, and I hope you learned something from my product accidental product management stint. So there.